Welcome to the second week of Haunting Hour month. Monthing Hour. The Haunting Month. Hovember. Not Hovember. No, not Hovember. It's Hovember, everybody. If you missed last week's video, I mentioned that I miss talking about the Haunting Hour all the time. So this whole month, I'm going to be talking about the show, whether you like it or not. Also, I'm hoping to keep my title as the Haunting Hour guy. Not that anybody's fighting for it, but I just want to make sure you guys know who I am. And if you aren't aware about The Haunting Hour, it is a kids' horror anthology show that had 76 episodes and aired from 2010 to 2014 on a now defunct channel called The Hub. Go ahead and type your Pornhub joke. That's very funny. It was created by R.L. Stein, who's known for his popular book series turned TV show, Goosebumps. The Haunting Hour is known as a darker version of Goosebumps and is one of the scariest kid shows of all time because it has some of the eeriest visuals, some actually terrifying monsters, and some pretty dark twist endings to the episodes. They take short stories from some of Stein's other books, like one so conveniently named The Haunting Hour, and another one called The Nightmare Hours for the episodes in the show. And a couple of weeks ago, I asked you guys what episode of The Haunting Hour you'd like to see, and you guys voted for Best Friend Forever. Best Friend Forever is the 12th episode of the first season of the show. We are slowly chipping away at that first season, dude. After this video, I think I'll have just 6 episodes in the first season to talk about, so maybe we'll be done with that very soon. Best Friend Forever was directed by Jason Furukawa, who was mainly the first assistant director for the show and many other shows and some movies as well, including Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, which was pretty awesome to figure out. But he did step up and direct a few episodes himself, those being this episode, Pool Shark, Mascot, and Dead Bodies. Some of my favorite episodes, actually. Well, Mascot and Dead Bodies. Pool Shark, not so much. It's a fine episode. It's just fine. It's not like it's bad, it's just okay. I personally really like this episode, mostly because of its unique take on zombies, which is something that has been beaten to death and then re-death in the media. And they're still making zombie shows. When are they gonna take the hint that we're not interested anymore? Writers Eric Patterson and Jessica Scott wanted to make an episode about a pet that you could keep alive forever. So of course they had to make the pet a zombie because zombies have a knack for living a very long time. I wonder how they do that. And this was the first of many episodes written by the duo that wrote 14 episodes in total together for the show. The episode also stars Nolan Gold as our main character, Jack Pierce. Nolan was on this channel before in the St. Patty's episode, Lots of Luck, as Gregory, but you probably know him as Luke Dunphy in the popular show Modern Family. He was just so adorable in the first few seasons of Modern Family, and he's also very adorable in this episode, so let's quit yapping and get into it. We start the episode by meeting Jack and his mom, who we will call Jack's mom. She makes him a delicious bowl of corn shooters? That sounds like the worst cereal ever. That's like bran if it tried to act cool. And while she makes him a bowl, Jack sets up a nice pre-made presentation to convince his mom that he should get a puppy. But she doesn't want to hear anything until he scarfs down his food. And he quite literally inhales the cereal. Slow down, kid, you're gonna choke! Even though Jack has taken all this time to make a presentation for his mom, she doesn't want to hear him out because she already knows for a fact that he is not ready for a dog. You see, our boy Jack here has had bad luck with every single pet that he's had. He's already had a lizard, hamster, and rabbit, but they've
all died.
Well, dang, I was looking for a nicer way to say that. And it really doesn't help that Jack saw them as experiments.
I learned many valuable lessons from my previous experiments.
They weren't experiments, Jack. They were pets.
Yeah, he really isn't helping his case here, is he? Needless to say, there's really nothing he can say or do to prove to his mom that he is ready to have a dog. But she tells him she will think about it if he doesn't bug her about it. Pretty much it's a mom's way of saying, no, now leave me alone. Also, you might recognize Jack's mom because it's your mom. No, I'm kidding, obviously. She's played by Anne Openshaw, and she's been a mother to many kids in this show, including the episodes Pumpkinhead and Intruders. We cut to later that day, and we meet Jack's bully, Mitch, who isn't some kid that beats him up and steals his lunch money or anything, but he's some scrawny geek who bullies him for not being as smart as him or as good at World of Warcraft as him.
I saw you on World of Warcraft last night, but you never made it into Ice Crown Citadel.
In other words, he's a no-life nerd who's never gotten
pussy before in his entire life.
I just wanted to put a germ a bit in my video somewhere. But seriously, Mitch is probably one of the most annoying characters in this whole series. I freaking hate him. He's so prideful that it's almost embarrassing to watch. He asked Jack if he's completed his science fair project yet, but Jack hasn't even started yet because the science fair isn't for another 6 months.
I have already completed 2 experiments. I just need to decide which will beat yours by a wider margin.
See, he says shit like that, and it makes me cringe a little bit every single time. Next, we cut to science class, where we meet two more main characters, Mr. Franklin and Sally. Sally is played by Julia Sarah Stone, and she plays Naomi in the episode Seance. And she has been on this channel before in the episode Headshot, which coincidentally stars Ariel Winters, who plays Alex Dunphy in Modern Family. So she got to work with two of the Dunphy kids on the show. Small world. Sally is a bit of an animal activist, and she actually ruined a worm dissecting experiment for the class, and has pissed off both Mr. Franklin and annoying kid Mitch.
Stop being such a drama queen.
And you stop being an annoying prick, and maybe we can all get along. Sally gets on her little soapbox, and she tries to convince the whole class that she did the right thing by stopping the experiment.
Worms are the dogs of the bug world.
Worms aren't bugs. Technically, they're not bugs. Bugs are insects which have 3 body parts, a head, a thorax, and an abdomen, as well as 6 legs. And worms are invertebrates that don't have any legs. Hey, wake up! Are you even listening to me right now? All right, I guess I'll just move on. Sally says that killing worms for a little experiment is inhumane, and it would be like killing and ripping open your own dog. Isn't that right, Jack?
I don't have a dog.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And since they can't cut open worms, Mr. Franklin gives each kid these rods with wires connected to them. He tells the kids to stick the rods in the ground and then touch a battery to the wires. And watch as a ton of worms start crawling out of the ground, which is apparently a real thing. I thought they just made it up for the episode. Jack finds this fun little experiment as a chance to prove to his mom that he can be responsible for a pet. If he can take care of worms, he can definitely take care of a dog, like... That was off camera, but I hope you guys saw that. My poster fell. My in-game poster fell. Just scared the shit out of me. Well, I'll put that up soon. Back to our scheduled program. If he can take care of worms, he can definitely take care of a dog. Like Sally said, they're basically the same animal. And if he could take care of worms for a week, his mom will surely bring him an adorable puppy to take care of. Too bad this is a daydream. And class is over. How long have you been standing there? So we cut to later, and Jack wastes no time in setting up his worm-catching contraptions right next to the cemetery. And he didn't really predict how far the electricity would travel through the ground, and he accidentally electrocutes this poor dead guy named Anthony Olson. There are many things wrong with this scenario, like that much voltage going through the ground and also electrocuting a man back to life, but we will ignore that for the sake of this video. Jack obviously doesn't notice that he's electrocuting this grave, but he does gather a nice audience of worms to take as his new pets. And just as he takes them home, Anthony wakes up from his eternal sleep. And after a second of walking through the woods, Jack stops and realizes he forgot to poke air holes for his new worms. Dummy, how are they supposed to breathe in there? But as he's poking holes in the jar, he hears strange noises nearby. But rather than investigate, he decides to just skedaddle his way back home for the night, where he puts his new worms in their new enclosure, unaware that someone followed him home, where he once again hears the strange noises. But this time he has to do the manly thing and protect his new pets. So he investigates the noises and finds a zombie eating out of his trash. Obviously super freaked out, Jack sprints to the nearby woods, where he trips and loses his glasses along the way. But a little mess up won't stop him from surviving, so he treks on deep into the woods with the walker following right behind him. Finally, after a minute of running, Jack thinks he lost the infected one, but he was wrong. The zombie lifts Jack up in the air as he pleads for his life.
I've got a lot of life to live. 69.2 years statistically speaking.
Bro, there is no time for statistics right now. You're about to die. But luckily for Jack, the zombie has a change of heart and lets him go, and then kindly gives Jack his glasses that he dropped moments ago. He even gives Jack a nice stinky zombie hug. Oh, I think this is gonna be the start of a wonderful friendship. They both head back to Jack's garage, where they make it a suitable living quarters for him, and by that I mean he got a hay bed. Good enough. So it looks like Jack has taken this opportunity to keep the zombie as a pet because, well, zombies can't die, so he can't re-kill this one, right? He tells Zombie Anthony that he will have to give him a bath to clean him up before he can come inside and meet his mom. Oh geez, I can only imagine what that interaction's gonna be like. But they've already spent so much time together, and old Rotter here doesn't even have a name. Well, actually he does. It's Anthony, but Jack doesn't know that. So he decides to call him Cheeky, which I think he likes. Cheeky here has been getting uncomfortably close to Jack and groaning in his ear, and it takes Cheeky chewing on his new dog tag for Jack to realize that he needs to feed his lame brain. So he heads inside to grab him some grub, but he only grabs veggies? Has this kid ever seen a zombie movie? Does he know what they typically eat? Well, if he hasn't, he's about to find out because Cheeky found his way inside the house and he looks extra hungry. Oh. Maybe Cheeky's a vegan zombie. I guess those exist. And in this moment, it finally clicks for Jack that Cheeky can't die. So he's gonna keep him as a pet forever and ever. Took you a little too long to realize that. I thought you were a smart kid. But as Cheeky is munching away on his vegetables, Jack's mom comes home. And Jack panically hides Cheeky from her because, well, he's a dirty zombie. Everyone knows you can't have a dirty zombie in the house. Honestly, I don't know if she'd be more upset about a zombie being in the house or the mess that he made in the kitchen.
What on earth did you do to this kitchen, Jack?
Uh-oh, sounds like the latter. Wait a minute. According to the sign on the fridge, the ingredients were meant for hamburgers? Why didn't you give Cheeky the meat, Jack? Maybe he isn't cut out to be a pet owner. While Jack and his mom clean up the mess, Jack loses sight of Cheeky, who's supposed to be waiting on him outside. So Jack panically looks around for him, only to realize he somehow found his way inside the house again. And Jack's mom is looking like a snack. And I don't mean that in the thirsty way either. Luckily, Jack thinks fast and stops Cheeky with the freezer door, but he accidentally knocks his jaw off. Dang, kid, how hard did you hit him? Animal abuse is a really bad thing, Jack. I'm gonna let you off this one time, but don't let it happen again. Well, even a zombie knows that you can't chew without your lower jaw, so as he picks it up off the floor, Jack swiftly guides his mom into another room away from Cheeky, and then punishes Cheeky like a good pet owner by tying him to his enclosure for the night. Well. And the next morning, do you guys not lock your doors? This is the third time he's found his way inside the house. But it's okay because Cheeky snuck in to give Jack a gift. He gives him a dog tag to match his own dog tag with his name on it. Jack. Oh, he's even trying to say Jack. You're not so bad after all, Cheeky. But you're still not allowed inside. And after a quick run-in with his mom, again, Jack distracts Cheeky with some TV like he's a toddler who won't sit still in the Olive Garden. Cut to later that day in school, and Jack can finally gloat about one of his experiments to that snob, Mitch.
Well, if your science fair project is better than bringing a dead guy back to life.
Obviously, Mitch doesn't believe Jack because he sounds absolutely insane right now. So Jack invites Mitch over to his house after school to prove to him that he has a pet zombie. But he might not even have to go to his house because Cheeky somehow found his way to the school. Does this dude have a tracker on Jack or something? Of course, Jack panics again and tries to think of a way to fix his little walker problem, but he doesn't think fast enough because Cheeky attacks Sally, who was trying to use the bathroom. The class hears her scream and they all get up to investigate, but Mr. Franklin stops everyone and tells them to sit down because Sally is a well-known drama queen. But still, if a kid screams that loud and intense in a school, maybe you should just give it a little peek. Maybe just go check on them, make sure they're okay, you know? I'm just saying, ignoring a blood-curdling scream, it's probably not the best idea. Luckily, Jack was able to slip away during all the commotion and save Sally before Cheeky was able to figure out how the stall door worked, where Sally says,
Kill that thing!
Whoa, weren't you all every living thing matters before? He's just a zombie, what's so different now? He just smells, has flesh rotting off of him, and wants to eat people constantly. It's like not even that big of a deal. But Jack does respond to Sally with something pretty funny, actually. He pretty much tells Sally that no one's gonna believe her. He says that she can't say anything about Cheeky because no one already believes her right now. So if she mentions something about a zombie, they're really not gonna believe her. She kind of did it to herself, honestly. Somehow Jack manages to get Cheeky out of the school without being caught, and he waits for Mitch at the spot they agreed to meet at before in school, where Jack explains to Cheeky what's going to happen. But then he goes all Frankenstein on him, starts calling Cheeky his creation and stuff, and Cheeky starts noticing all the red flags in front of him and takes this as his chance to escape. And after a quick little Scooby-Doo moment,
Kiki!
Jack literally runs into Mitch, who's ready to see Jack's brain eater. And when he doesn't have it anymore, he immediately starts insulting Jack.
You're like the David Blaine of mathletes. All flash and no flashcards.
Okay, first, you can't say any of that and try and sound cool. Second, I used to like David Blaine, so I take offense to that. And third, there's a zombie behind you. You should probably look out. Cheeky pins Mitch to the ground and holds him there until Mitch admits that Jack is smarter than he is. And if he doesn't, well, Cheeky hasn't eaten for a while.
He's kind of a connoisseur of brains, being a zombie and all.
So he does know what zombies eat. Why didn't you feed him meat before? And after a ton of begging and pleading, Mitch admits that Jack is smarter than him, so he gets to run free with his brain still in his head. But in a crazy turn of events, Cheeky sneaks up behind Jack and knocks him out. Then we cut back to the cemetery and the camera pans underground, where we see Cheeky has a whole house dug out underground with his zombie mother. And coincidentally, Cheeky wasn't allowed to have a pet either. But just like Jack, he brought one home anyways, and she's pissed. I mean, look at the anger on her face. And when Jack comes to, he finds himself tied up with a chain, and Cheeky asks his mom if he can keep Jack as a pet, and Jack is just too cute, she can't say no. So to end off the episode, Cheeky tries to feed an ungrateful Jack a bowl of raw meat and rotting fruit, where it once again takes Jack a little too long to realize that he's now Cheeky's pet. And that's the end of the episode. God, this episode is just so much fun. It tries to have its moments where it's scary, but I just can't take Cheeky seriously at all. I will admit, he is pretty freaky looking. Probably one of the best zombie designs I've seen in a little while. He actually looks like a for real zombie. And I love the yellow eyes. That means he's being controlled by Samantha. But despite his scary look, Cheeky is a little too goofy for me to take him seriously. And they obviously did that on purpose. I mean, he was scary for like 4 seconds when we thought he was going to eat Jack, but after his sign of peace towards Jack, it's kind of hard to see him as anything but a misunderstood little guy. He's just so clumsy, he's always fumbling around everywhere like a lost puppy. He gets distracted so easily by little things. It just absolutely tanks his scary factor, and it doesn't matter how many jump scare noises you put in the episode, I'm gonna be happy when he's on screen. He's like oddly cute. Somehow, I don't know how. And I actually love the relationship between him and Jack. It's kind of funny seeing Jack kind of control an older guy. Like, I know he's like brain dead, he's a zombie, he doesn't know anything, but it's just kind of cute seeing a little kid like boss a big guy around, you know? It's just a good time, just a guy hanging out with his zombie pet, just a lot of fun. Now, with all that being said, I don't think it's one of the better episodes of the show, especially since I've only talked about some of the highest rated episodes here recently. So this one's definitely a little like whiplashy, a little jarring for me to jump into, but it's just, like I said, it's so much fun. I could watch a whole series of these two running around getting into crazy weird situations. Now that I know there's like an underground tunnel of zombies, that could be like a whole nother world you can dive into. It would be a lot of fun, honestly. And I did really like the twist at the end. I didn't see it coming because I really wasn't thinking about a twist in this episode. I figured he would have to like put Cheeky to rest somehow because his mom obviously doesn't want him to have a pet zombie. That would be insane if she was just cool with it. But I do like that they added a twist because I didn't expect a twist, so it got me. They did give us many hints throughout the episode that it was happening. I mean, Cheeky was constantly on the prowl trying to protect Jack, and he even gives him a dog tag with his name on it like you would do a pet, like a little tag. I just hope Jack was able to get away before Cheeky gets a little too hungry and tries to eat him. I also really like the underground house that Cheeky and his mom lived in. Probably the most creative part of this episode, honestly. I wish we got to spend a little more time in it because it looks like they spent a lot of time making it. There are sketches of the lair so we can get a better look at it, and it's really cool. I just feel like it was a huge waste of time because we got less than 2 minutes of screen time in the place. Once again, if we had a whole series of these two, I could probably explore that room a lot more. It does look a little small, so maybe we did get to see most of it on camera, so that's good. Now, one last thing before we end everything off. The side characters in this episode really sucked. I mean, they were entertaining, but none of them were really likable, except for maybe his mom, but she doesn't count. She was nice. But Mitch is just a know-it-all little prick who was too snooty and annoying for you to like him. I was honestly glad when he got put in his place. Sally was just over the top and really annoying the whole time. She was always on her soapbox preaching about something or being a smartass about something. And Mr. Franklin was a little too passive-aggressive towards Sally the whole time. He obviously didn't like her. I mean, I know she was annoying and disruptive, but come on, man. If a girl screams like that, you've got to at least check and make sure she's okay. Okay, that's my rant about the bad side characters. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. But let me know what you think about this episode in the comments below. I have a Patreon. The $5 members get bonus content plus videos a day early, maybe some pictures of my cats, a Discord server, and your name right here on screen. Like the video if you liked the video. Thank you for watching the video all the way through. I appreciate you all, and peace.